group, had great results, and she has now signed up 3 coaches. So I think you officially became a coach like 2 weeks ago. Incredible. And so, yay, Jennifer. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then and to remind everyone, we do have our sneak peek that starts this Thursday. So please start inviting people to that, and it will be like a live call. So I don't know if we're trying to do Zoom or trying to figure it out, but it will be a live call. We'll have slides and everything. So let us know if you have any questions, and you can go ahead and invite anyone. I know everyone's been asking to be approved for it, but oh, Faust. Okay. The big scary dog in the back. Okay, we are going to talk about handling objections. Thank you. Okay, so why do we get objections?
Is a former MMA fighter. So he's no stranger to competition.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so why do we get objections? And this is just a common thing that people ask. It doesn't mean you're a bad coach. It doesn't mean that you should never get objections. Having objections actually means that you are working on your business. It means that you are messaging people. It means that you are inviting them to the opportunity. It means that you are moving forward. So I applaud you if you are having objections. That is a great thing. I remember when I first did my first challenge group, I didn't have any objections because it was like my mom and my sister and like friends who like knew me, right? They already trusted me and we had a relationship. So it was easier to get through those questions. But when we reach out to our cold market and warm market, we are going to get some objections, which are totally fine. So, why do we get objections? People still need to be shown the value of the product. And how you're going to show the value is through your experience, through your sharing, how it is going to apply to their goals. And that is what's going to be valuable to them. It's not going to be 30-minute workouts. It's not going to be 70 superfoods. It's going to be how it will be applied to their life and to their why. So that's a key word here in this presentation is their why. We always need to figure out the people's why. And also we need to build trust and the relationships a little stronger. And that is totally okay. That trust isn't there yet. They might not know you and feel like they can put like their whole life into your hands yet. And we still need to cultivate that relationship, and that is totally fine. So those are some reasons why we get objections. Okay, so social media and objections, and these might not seem like they go hand in hand, but I really do think they do. So expanding our markets to cold leads, because I don't know about you guys, but if I go to suggested friends, I get suggestions on friends that are already friends with Raquel and Jessica and Natalie and every single coach. And so I have to think outside the box because that's already kind of in my mind taken, right? So my trick is to join closed Facebook groups in my area. So I start Facebooking groups that are like, I type in San Antonio yard sales. I type in Alamo Heights, which is kind of a ritzy area in San Antonio, their yard sales. I'm involved in the San Antonio Bunko group. I'm involved in like all these random groups that I don't really have an interest in, but that market, that's what I'm interested in. So I go through, once I'm approved, it takes a couple days or so until they approve this random girl. But I go in and I start friending the heck out of people. So those are cold leads. But what do I do with those cold leads, right? I just don't let them sit there. I use the approach to build those relationships as the 3-2-1 approach. So this kind of sounds a little weird, but sometimes it works, and it's going to get you on the right foot to building that relationship with that, basically someone you just don't know, a rando. So when they friend my request, I go in and I like 3 of their posts. I start scrolling down. I see how active they are on Facebook. I start getting acquainted with what they look like. And I start liking some of their posts. I don't do this all like at once, but maybe the next day or whenever I see them again, I'll start commenting on posts, comments that are interactive that they can respond back. Like, oh, that shirt's adorable. I love that headband. Where did you get it? Your dog is so cute. What kind of dog? So interactive posts that I comment on their stuff. Eventually, once they pop up again, or if you track it really good, you can do that one, which is that invite to a challenge group. And I'll get into exactly what I say. So social media and objections, this third part is build trust when you approach your cold market. So the reason why we post on social media, and I tell my coaches this all the time, when you send out an invite through direct messaging on Facebook, and they are like, who is this Laura Simon cat? And why is she asking me to do this? They're going to click back to your profile and they're going to start scrolling through and they're going to say, oh, you have chickens. Oh, you have a garden. Oh, you're married. Oh, you don't have a family, but you have like an extended family. You have all these things. If they don't see that I'm a coach and I hold challenge groups and I have people get results, they might not trust me as much. So what I like to do in my social media is I do this regularly. I look back and I'm like, did I talk about how I'm changing lives? Did I talk about a coaching opportunity? Am I showcasing a product of the product? And this is not every single post. I like to mix it up, but will they see those things on my social media? If they do, there's a better chance of them trusting me, building that relationship, and responding to my invite. So social media is a huge part of objections in my head. Okay, if it was a perfect world, what would my invites look like? So you might already know this. This might be a bore to you, but you might not even know what to say. So hopefully you can get something out of this. Whenever I have felt like I've built that relationship a little strong, it's not just like this person off the block. I send them an invite, and I send at least 10 invites a day. If I'm going to hit Success Club every single month, if I'm going to progress my business the way I want it to, I have got to send out at least 10 invites a day. So I say, and this is a legit thing, this is not actually cold, but I could move it around to being like a cold invite. So I could say, hey, Samantha, I love watching you on social media. I love seeing your post about your dog. Your family's so beautiful. I've been thinking a lot about how you would do so amazing in my upcoming challenge group. I started off as a challenger back 1 year ago, and it's truly changed my life for the best. Let me know if that's something you would like more information on. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. This sounds like me. This is totally me. I would say something like this. So your first invite through social media needs to sound like you, genuine, just like you. You can copy and paste this, but I suggest kind of making it your own, or if this sounds like you too, awesome, use it. So this is my first invite of how I ask them to join a challenge group. Perfect world, they say, yes, I want to know the next step. I will create a document of all this stuff so you don't have to read this, but I actually like saying a lot of information. I straight up say it. Here's a lot of information about my challenge group, but once you read it, let me know your thoughts. And it's basically when it starts, when's preseason, when's first day, what the challenge group's about. I've been using this from day one, and it's been working out. So I talk about I talk about Shakeology. I talk about being open-minded. I talk about us finding a fitness program for them. And I ask them to let me know your thoughts, and I'll send you the next step. So in a perfect world, they say, awesome, send me the next step. And I talk about their why. So this is crucial no matter what level it is. You want to know their why. You want to know their fitness level. You want to know what interests them. What are their goals? What are their goals? And I love to write these down because you always want to revert back to them and figure out if they're on track, or if it's not right now, you could always use their why in the future. Again, this is a perfect world. Okay, once you reply, I'll send you 2 videos to help narrow down the best program for you. And so if you're not familiar with the back office of your online coaching office, there are a ton of videos that you could suggest to people. And there's promo videos, there's information. So several times if they want to do hip hop and they like weights and they like running, those are key things for a 21-day fix and a size. And this is what those were her goals. I said because Gretchen's doing it because one of her friends was doing it in the same challenge group. And I always, side note, I always ask when people sign up, do you have a friend or a sister or anyone that would actually like to do this group with you? So this happened to be like an easy thing. And she's like, yes, actually my best friend. And it was a sign up. But in a perfect world, I suggest 2 videos for them. And she chose 21 Day Fix. It's on sale this month. I'm so pumped you're going to join. Here's your sign up link. And I say, make sure you select the 21 Day Fix challenge pack, because what I like to do is I have this link that shows all the challenge packs and the refresh, like the kickstarts, which includes the 3-day refresh. I like to have them have that option because a lot of people do it. A lot of people want that kickstart. So I include, whenever it goes to that website, it has all the challenge packs and kickstarts. And then I usually say, let me know if you have any questions, but also let me know when you sign up. I usually end with a question as well. Okay, so that's a perfect world. That usually does not happen at all. We usually have a ton of objections. So if you're by your phone or if you're by a pen and paper, I would probably write these things down. These are the 3 things I think about when I get an objection. And it pretty much can revert back to any objection. So number 1, I empathize with them, right? So you say, I feel the same way. I felt the same way. I was in your shoes. I totally understand. You are trying to relate to them as best you can. You want to put them at ease, right? So you're empathizing with them. Number 2, share your experience or experiences of your other challengers. And I'll kind of go through examples of this. And then number 3, talk about how it changed you and refer back to their goals. So for example, if someone says, the cost factor is just way too much for me right now. I don't think it's something I can pull off this month. So just let me, think about it for a little bit and I'll get back with you. And so what I would say is I'd empathize and say, I totally understand. Whenever I first became a challenger, I actually was not interested in it at all. But when I broke it down, when my coach broke it down for me, that it's just $4.33 a day for Shakeology and just a little bit more for that challenge pack, and that I'm replacing a meal, and you can share your experience, I realized that is exactly how much I spend at Starbucks and my gym membership. And even the time it takes to drive to the gym and back is time and money. And you can refer back to their goals. And you say, I know that, losing those 5 to 10 pounds is a huge thing for you. And I know that with just that small amount of $5 a day, that it really would impact your life a whole lot. So those are some things that you can revert back to and talk about how you empathize, share your experience, and talk about how it changed, and refer back to your goals. So a little side note that I wrote down that I wanted to talk about earlier was, through this whole thing, it's all about Beachbody being a coach. It's all about building relationships. It's not about quick sell. It's not focusing on the sell. You really are changing lives. Instead of thinking about those 2 Success Club points you have to get in 24 hours, think about changing lives instead. And so something I like to think about is, if you are a mom of a boy and you are going to a baseball game and you are watching your son out there, and there's this mom that sits right beside you, and you're like, ooh, I really want to talk about Beachbody with her, but I don't know how to do it. One way that would really turn off that person, probably, if you're just like, hey, what's your name? I actually host monthly challenge groups. I think you'd be so good at it. Actually, it's on sale this month and I start on Monday. And I just think you'd be so good at it. I really, I'll friend you on Facebook right now and you can see all my posts. They probably wouldn't ever sit beside you again. They'd probably be like, that girl is way too in her Beachbody stuff and I'm just not into that. But if you changed it like this, and if you sat beside that mom and you're like, hey, which son out there is yours? Oh, awesome. Number 5, mine's number 10. Where did you grow up? Are y'all from here? Where's, how big is your family? You get to know them, you build those relationships. And then all of a sudden, after that baseball game, when y'all hit it off, you friend her on Facebook. And all of a sudden she starts seeing your post and she starts seeing some trust, and you're starting to build that relationship. And that next game, you sit beside her again and maybe y'all talk about it and bring it up, right? So this is not a quick sale. This is really about building relationships. And that's kind of what I think about when I message people, is you're at that baseball game and you really are trying to taken everything in life and make this program work for someone in their life, and really getting to know their why. That is crucial here, is really getting to know their why and always revert back to it. Okay, so some objections that these are real life objections and my responses. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying this is all perfect, but it kind of works for me. And this is just some ideas for you. So Samantha, she said, hey, Laura, thanks so much for thinking of me. Unfortunately, right now is not a good time to take on new ventures. I'm helping my mom through recovery of a brain tumor removal and radiation therapy, and it's been tough to keep up with my job and family needs as it is. Maybe in the future when things calm down a bit, I might be interested. This is a decent time to say that, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. Be in my thoughts and prayers. Let's keep in touch and look forward to the future. Have a great night. This is a pretty serious thing. That's definitely an objection, but knowing when the time is not right, but also knowing, comforting them, sending them good vibes, following up with them about her mom. And this was back in April, and then she was just in my challenge group. So, and her husband as well. And they purchased 2 challenge packs, which is very rare, but it's awesome. And I can kind of talk through that later. But so just that whole purpose is knowing when the time is right, when to put them on your follow-up list, and when to revert back, but also comforting them and say, okay, thanks, bye. This is a true life matter. And she's going through life right now with her mom with a terrible thing. But she ended up, everything settled down. And I asked how her mom was, and she ended up signing up for a challenge pack. Okay, so this is a how much objection. And this was last month's challenger. She said, everything sounds great. How much is the challenge pack? And so I say, in the challenge pack, you'll get the workout DVDs, and you can stream online, the portion control containers, a shaker, and a 30-day supply of Shakeology. I also provide my recipes, meal plans, grocery list, my closed Facebook group, me as your coach for about $5 a day. Usually say about. I should have put about. I always end with a question. Whenever they respond, you've got to keep the conversation moving. So that was one message. And then right after that, I sent this off. The next part is to decide which program best fits you. And I go into her why. So I know her why. She wants to lose 10 more pounds to get that last baby weight off. Okay, so this is her continued. We actually figured out that she wanted 21-day fix extreme, and she never ever replied. And so a couple days later, I asked her if she had any problems ordering the challenge pack, and she said, started the process. And I actually posted this on the group, but we can kind of go over it again. Started the process, but I don't think at this time I can afford that much for Shakeology. Can the challenge pack be done without it? Is it a requirement? Let me know. So I'm starting to get this question a lot. A lot of people have other shakes, other products that they're doing. They're not interested in having something else. What I say to that is, I don't know about that product, but what I do know. It's very hard to speak on that things you don't know, or even if you do know what it is, it's a lot easier to say what you do know, what you experienced, and your success out of it. So my response, and I kind of went through the empathize, sharing your experience, and refer back to her goals. When I first started as a challenger, I thought the exact same thing. So I related to her. Shakeology is expensive, but the value is completely worth it. I realized that it replaces a meal and equals to 5 salads. That's a $4.33 salad for a meal. I started thinking about how I can drop that on Starbucks for a latte. The challenge pack is the best deal there is. The Shakeology is worth $140 and the rest is $20. Usually the DVDs, containers, and shaker altogether will cost $65.99. I understand that it's an investment, but I promise you results in the start to a lifestyle change and to start getting that baby weight off. So you empathize, right? You share your experience and how it has helped you, and then you revert back to their goals. And that simple as that, those 3 things can almost help you in every single objection there is. So definitely take note of that. This is kind of a funny one. Persistent pays off, and the follow-up pays off for sure. So this Andrea, who's actually a rodent and fuels consultant, started asking me about a challenge group back in August. She asked about a challenge group, gave her all the info. She didn't join. Her kid's too wild right now. It's just too much time taken up. Totally fine. A couple days later, she actually ordered the Shakeology pack, like the sample pack. Perfect. That was an awesome start. Didn't really go anywhere with that. Kept following up with her. November, invited her to another challenge group, right? Because I'm following up constantly. I gave it like 3 months just because she said no a lot. And so, but she didn't join, right? But she did join my clean eating group, which was in December. I've always thought this is kind of comical. In January, she asked for the recipes I posted online. So you know how you can post a recipe and be like, message me if you want the recipe. It's a great way to get engagement. So I did that, sent her the recipe. She actually ordered size, but she didn't order Shakeology. So, and she didn't want in my challenge group. I offered the challenge group too, but she didn't want in. February, she was interested in the 3-day refresh after I posted a lot about it, but she didn't buy it. March 1st, I had an hour phone call about the coaching opportunity, and because she wanted to know more about the coaching opportunity and did not sign up, and it almost crushed my ego. I'm not even gonna lie, almost crushed. And then at the beginning of this month, she signed up as a coach and purchased the 21-day fix challenge pack. It started with just Shakeology. Then I was like, you might as well spend $10 more and get the challenge pack. She's like, why not? And then I was like, you might as well sign up as a discount coach because you get Shakeology at a discount, because she knows she already likes it. She already ordered the Shakeology sample. And then she was like, sounds good, but don't announce me as a coach or anything. I was like, okay, I will not do that. Don't worry. And then she texted me that she is having a booth at some conference as a Beachbody coach. And she's going to be representing herself as a Beachbody coach. So hilarious story. But the reason I post this, or I put this on our PowerPoint, is because it literally was 10 months of following up, commenting on her stuff, keeping engaged, and, involving her in everything I'm doing. And same with her, I'm involved. And she finally, she signed up as a coach. So follow up. It pays off for sure. Okay. And a couple other things. So the scripts are on the Google Drive. So if you go to, I can share it out really quickly, because this is actually my last slide, and then we're gonna do some role playing if you're interested. Totally optional, but always remember to ask their why. That's what's going to be like the cream to this, because mentioning and spurting off that it's equal to 5 salads and 70 superfoods, that's not gonna make the sale. What's gonna make the sale, and what's going to start having their lifestyle changed, is applying it to them and where they are. You always want to remember that. It is about them. You want to be interested instead of interesting. You don't want to be interesting. You just want to be interested in them. And how you do that, you ask more questions. So get to know their why, empathize, share your experience, and follow up and revert back to their why. Okay, so that's the end of my slideshow. And then I'm going to just show you, if you don't, oh wait, hold on really fast. Okay, here we go. Get out of this. I don't even know. Let's see here. Maybe I'll know where this is. Oh, I guess I can just go right here. Okay, so even if you don't know, this is the Google Drive, right? So TeamVIP, Google Drive, oh, whoopsies, is just right on the right-hand side. So you have the manual, which is amazing. Just because we created, I think it's amazing. And the Google Drive. So click on the Google Drive, and you're going to find so much information. Is a folder that says, I saw it today. It was objections.
Overcoming objections on the left.
Where is it? On the left. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So there's so many scripts to this, like how to overcome and price objections. It's amazing. These scripts are actually incredible. And definitely read all this. It literally has all the objections you can ever think of. So please look at that and make it your own. And I never respond the same way to people. I always personalize it because you never know. You just have to personalize it to them, to their story, to their why. But this gives you a great foundation to overcoming objections. So keep that in mind. Also, the back office has a lot of how to overcome objections on teambeachbody.com. So there we go. That is overcoming objections and handling it. And it's a lot less scary than it sounds. And just remember to empathize and share your experience and revert back to their why. Simple as that. And if they don't hop on board, that's totally okay. Just follow up and eventually they will. Any questions? It's 9:28. Do we want to roll?
120 seconds to ask questions.
Laura, that was so good.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I think that we
I have a lot of
definitely.
people ask me about price right away. Like, I ask if they're interested, and that's the first thing that they say. Like, how do you get their goals and everything and try to revert back to that without avoiding their question?
Absolutely. So 2 ways you can do it. I was listening to a top Beachbody coach, Melanie Mitchell, and what she does is she gets the why before. She's like, before we step into the price point, because each program depends on your goals to figure out which program is best for you. I would love to get a little bit more information about, your fitness goals, what you like to do, and your whys. That's one. Or you could do the whole standard, depending on which program is best for you. It will cost about $4 to $5 a day. That's if you're doing a 30-day program, which includes bam, 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 bam. The next thing to do is figure out which program is best for you. So always end with a question, but you can either do both ways. You can go ahead and answer it and then get their why, or just go ahead and say, let's figure out your why first, and then we'll get to that next. I think that would depend on how quickly they're responding to you, right? Like if this girl, you can never get her to respond to you, I'd go ahead and just bam, bam, and get it out of the way so we can get the conversation. Does that help? Okay, cool. Okay, anyone else? Any questions? Any other objections that you just can't fight, or like you just can't get over and don't know what to say?
I have one. I have a girl who has been really interested for the past few months, and she has previously taken another shake. I remember the name, but she's really interested in Shakeology. Like she's been going back and forth. So I think it was like yesterday. She sent me these recipes. It was like literally Shakeology with Oreos in it, and then Shakeology with sprinkles, and then Shakeology with like cookie dough. And she was basically just like, fight of the challenge, are these acceptable? And so I didn't really know how to answer. I just kind of told her that, those look delicious. I think with the nutrition plan that we have, there's definitely some wiggle room for some chocolate. I mean, I've talked with her multiple times about kind of how it's set up, but I never heard back. And so I don't know if there's a better approach to it. I think she's like really wanting that, like a sweet, I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Sure. So if we like went through those 3 things, right? So like empathize would be first. So you empathize with her, like she already likes shakes, right? Like that's like, she does shakes, you say, Natalie?
Yeah, she does some type of shake, and she's like, I want a shake that I can drink on my way to work. And I was like, I got you, girl. Like, that's what that's what Shakeology is. Like, I've known her a little bit the past year, so I mean, we have that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I posted in our challenge group. I thought I posted in the TeamVIP, but I probably did it around Halloween. But I have basically a little graphic, and it's 4 different recipes that taste like Reese's peanut butter, Almond Joy, Snickers, and it's like actually not bad.
But it's not like with a candy bar in it, though.
No, but it's to taste like a candy bar. But it's doable, and it's 21-day fix approved. So I can just post that on TeamVIP. And we posted as one of our posts in our challenge group. I think we just did it last week, and people love it. So, but it's like when you're craving chocolate, and you want that taste of like a candy bar, this is a healthy way to do it without adding all that other junk in it that you'll see sometimes on Pinterest, not so healthy recipes.
Yes. No, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And reel her in.
Mm-hmm.
Any other?
Okay. What about this one, Laura? Is your challenge group just for women only, or can men join? My husband really prefers to work out at the gym, but he might be interested.
Great one, Raquel. Okay, so I get this actually. We might or might not have practiced this. So. But I actually get this a lot. I have a lot of women that have a husband and they want to work out together. They don't want to separate. And so referring back to Sam, who was actually on my sample one, her husband is like, she refers to him as a meathead. He loves the gym. And so what I say is this is absolutely not for women only. My cousin and my cousin's wife actually was in a challenge group with me. They lost 21 pounds together in 21 days. And I send them the photo because they said that's okay. So I let them see a visual, right? And I share that experience. And they're like, holy crap, this is awesome. I say how amazing it is to have an actually accountability partner inside the house. Like, yes, we provide that on the group, but you can share those portion size containers. You can do Shakeology together. And in the end, yes, he still went to the gym, but he ended liking arms and cardio. Like that was his thing. So he worked out with Sam during that, still had his gym time, obsessed with Shakeology, and loved the containers. So it's still, you can definitely still do it as a couple, still get those same results, and, keep on with that power coupleness that they have. Cool. Okay.
Okay, I know that we're over on time, but I feel like if the biggest takeaways that if you got from her, definitely pay attention to the fact that persistence is so important. And don't get yourself into a box where you feel like you're trying to hit Success Club, hit Success Club, hit Success Club, and you're trying to get brand new leads to purchase right now. Because sometimes people need a minute to let it absorb, or they're not in the right place in their life where they're ready for a challenge group, where they're ready for the coaching opportunity. A lot of your best people and your most dedicated challengers and coaches maybe are going to take 2, 3, 6 months before they're ready for what you need to be doing. But honestly, that's better because you want them to be able to go all in and have a really positive experience. But with that being said, you constantly have to be having conversations, because the conversations you're having now are the success that you're building for later. And so you can't get discouraged. You have to just know, okay, I'm planting seeds. Those are going to come to fruition later. And don't let yourself get into a bind where you have no conversations and no leads and you're trying to fabricate a business out of nothing. You have to consistently work the business so you consistently are building these actual true relationships, and it doesn't feel cold and it doesn't feel salesy, and you're not trying to just get them to buy a challenge pack, but you truly are interested. And if they have to wait, that doesn't stress you out. You're like, great, you tell me when you're ready, but when you're ready, I know that I'm going to be the coach that you think of, and you won't have another coach on your mind. So just be thinking of it in that light versus I lost that sale they didn't buy. But when they're ready, you're the only coach you're going to be thinking about. Or should another coach, approach them, they would think, oh, I already have this relationship with Laura. That's actually my coach, even though they've never purchased anything. So no conversation is ever lost, but you have to be thinking forward instead of thinking right now today, because that's where you get stuck in your little cycle, and it just turns negative. And people can feel that energy when you are anxious and you're just like, you're trying to just, people feel that. And so it comes across. So definitely, that was such a huge part, such a big takeaway that I took from Laura. Make sure that you know that, because your work is valued. So use that to your advantage. And I heard on some personal development, I don't remember what it was. It's treat your business. It should feel like a hobby, but you have to treat it like a business. So you should love it and be passionate about it because you're changing lives, but you have to be diligent and consistent like a business, or it's never going to move forward. And you're constantly going to be just bouncing around feeling not so good about how it's going. So that's my little 2 cents, but I thought it was so good.
And the only thing I want to add to that is if you'll notice in Laura's messages how confident she is. And I think just going in with confidence, even if you don't feel it yet, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. But when I talk to people, I literally in my head, I'm like, if you say no, that's really sad for me because I know my products will change your life. Like hands down, without a doubt, I know that if you join a challenge group and you commit, you're going to get amazing results and change your life. So when I talk to people, I'm just super uber confident about it. And if it's not a good time for them or they don't have money, I'm like, cool, save up, girl. I cannot wait for you to join it. I know you're going to do so amazing when you're able to jump in. And I truly, honestly believe it. And yes, sometimes it's through Messenger, but I'm telling you, people can feel energy and they can feel like good vibes on whether or not you're confident. It comes across in